All right, today we are diving into something we all do constantly, but maybe don't think about nearly enough, and that is the incredible power of our own breath. We're going to uncover how this simple, automatic act is actually one of the most potent tools we have for real transformation.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Over 20,000 times a day, your body just breathes. It happens without you even trying. But what if the most important part isn't that it happens, but how it happens? What if we could shift from just letting it happen to consciously using it? That one little shift, well, that's the key to everything we're about to explore.
Okay, so let's jump right in. First up, we're going to look at how our breath is this amazing fundamental link between the physical body, the part you can see and touch, and everything else, our mind, our emotions, our spirit.
Here's a really beautiful way to think about it. Breathing isn't just about oxygen and carbon dioxide. It's the physical, tangible expression of a life force energy. It literally builds a bridge between your solid physical body and the invisible world of your thoughts and consciousness.
So let's get into the mechanics for a second. On a basic level, yeah, your breath meets your blood in the lungs to swap oxygen for waste, but it's also acting like a pump, helping your circulation. And here's the absolute game changer. Your breath is basically a remote control for your entire nervous system. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you're stimulating something called the vagus nerve, which sends a direct signal to your body that says, hey, you're safe, you can relax now.
But that physical connection, that's really just the tip of the iceberg. This is where things get really interesting, because that physical bridge leads us into a more subtle, energetic realm, one that ancient traditions have been mapping out for thousands of years. And to understand that realm, we have to talk about a concept called prana. You can think of prana as the vital life force. It's like the electricity that powers a computer. The computer is the hardware, the body, but without that current of electricity, it's just a lifeless box. Prana is that dynamic, ever-flowing current that animates all of life.
And this is where it gets really profound. This life force isn't seen as some cold mechanical energy. No, it's viewed as a compassionate, creative force. From this perspective, the flow and change of the entire universe is literally the movement of love itself.
So here's the crucial idea. Your body and your mind aren't two separate things. Not really. They're just different points on a single spectrum of energy. Think of it like water, ice, and steam. They're all H2O, just vibrating at different frequencies. Your body is like ice, condensed energy vibrating at a lower frequency. Your mind is like steam, that same energy vibrating at a much higher, more subtle frequency. You know, ancient yogic philosophy has this amazing map for all of this. It's called the koshas, or sheaths. Think of them like Russian nesting dolls, these layers of our being, from the most dense and physical on the outside, all the way to the most subtle and blissful at our core. It shows us that we can use our physical body as the entry point to access all these deeper layers of ourselves.
Now, within that energy body, there's this intricate highway system of channels called nadis. For our purposes, we're focusing on the three main ones. You've got Ida on the left, which is your calming, cooling, feminine energy. Then there's Pingala on the right, your heating, activating, masculine energy. The whole goal of so many spiritual yoga practices is to bring these two into balance, so that energy can flow freely up the central channel, the Sushumna, leading to these incredible states of awareness and awakening.
All right, so that's a lot of the what and the why. Pretty cool, right? But now let's get to the fun part, the how. How do we actually start using this information? Let's get into some practical tools.
The biggest shift you can make is moving from a mindset of doing yoga to being in your yoga. It's the difference between treating it like a workout, focusing only on getting the perfect alignment, and treating it like a deep conversation with your own body. Instead of just doing the pose, you ask, what am I feeling here? What energy is moving? What is this releasing? It's a huge shift from performance to pure awareness.
And here's a fantastic little toolkit of breathing techniques you can use like right now. The whole idea is that you can use specific patterns to create specific states of mind. So if you're feeling stressed and need to focus, you can try box breathing. If you need to calm down before bed, the 4-7-8 technique is unbelievably effective. And to get that sense of balance and clarity, maybe before you meditate, alternate nostril breathing is incredible.
And you can weave these ideas together into a simple sequence. You start by grounding yourself, feeling your feet on the earth. Then you warm up the spine, linking your breath to movement. You move into a pose like pigeon to release all that stored up tension we hold in our hips. Then you open the heart, and finally, you relax and integrate everything before just sitting in stillness to notice the effect.
Okay, but here's something that is really, really important. This work is powerful, and you have to approach it with respect. There's this great analogy. You would never try to run high-voltage electricity through old, faulty wiring, right? The same goes for your body's energy system. Pushing too hard, too fast, can actually do more harm than good.
So to make sure this whole process is healing and not harmful, these safety rules are absolutely essential. First off, grounding is non-negotiable. Always start by connecting to the earth. Second, and this is a big one, don't force anything. This isn't a race, it unfolds when it's ready. If you can, find an experienced teacher to guide you. And maybe most important of all, listen to your body. It knows. Never push through pain.
Now, when you do approach this work with the right tools and a safe, respectful mindset, man, it opens the door to a completely different way of knowing things, a type of wisdom that goes way beyond just logic and reason.
Our whole culture, our whole education system prizes rational knowing. We're taught to analyze, to break things down, to think our way to an answer. But breathwork gives us direct access to intuitive knowing. It's the difference between figuring something out in your head and just feeling the answer in your gut. It's the shift from I think, therefore I know, to a much deeper I am, therefore I know.
So how in the world does it do that? Well, for starters, it quiets that constant monkey mind chatter, which creates space for insight to bubble up. But what's really amazing is that it can physically synchronize the rhythm of your heart with your brainwaves. This state is called coherence, and it's scientifically shown to boost creativity and intuitive perception.
And if you want to understand the sheer power we're talking about here, get this. Research from the HeartMath Institute has shown that the heart's electromagnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. It's not even close. When you practice coherent breathing, you are tapping into and harnessing that incredible power. So, at the end of the day, what's the real point of all this? It's not just to feel calm and peaceful for 20 minutes on a yoga mat. The real practice, the real goal, is to weave this awareness into every single moment of your life.
This is where it all comes together. This is where your life truly changes. You're stuck in traffic. Instead of getting angry, you use a calming breath. You have a stressful meeting coming up. You take 30 seconds to center yourself. You learn to create a little space between a trigger and your response, so you can consciously respond instead of just automatically reacting.
And it all comes back to this one simple, beautiful truth. You don't need to go on a big retreat or wait for some dramatic event to start. Real, lasting transformation begins with the very next breath that you decide to take with intention.
So, we'll just leave you with that. An invitation. Your very next breath is right here waiting for you. It's a constant, free, reliable tool that can bring you back home to yourself anytime, anywhere. The only question left is, how will you respond?